In all parties, including NRM that is run like a kiosk. Even in their kiosk style, they have processes. You have had Museveni convening Central Executive Committee to nominate candidates for Parliament. Nandala thinks you can run a party maybe the same way he runs the Bugis Cooperative Union. I was never appointed by Nandala Mafabi. In fact, Patrick Amuriat had appointed the Honorable Betty Awol. He presented the name to the National Executive Committee and rejected it. Me, I am here as FDC because of the National Executive Committee, not because of Nandala. But I did not want to extend the lunacy of those guys to Parliament. I had wanted to spare Parliament of that lunatic behavior. But they have brought it themselves, and they should be embarrassed. I saw my friend, my brother and Swam celebrating an illegality, a lawyer of his stature. Every appointment in FD since it started is approved. The leadership nominates, then you seek approval. You cannot be the one nominating and one approving. But let everybody know there is nothing in being a whip of the FDC. I think maybe because my name is involved, they think it is something big. Everything Ssemmujju touches is very big. I have asked, including media people, who is the whip of DP? They don't know. Do you know that the whip of FDC is that the same level like the whip of PPPP? Like the whip of GEMA? It's the same level. I don't know the obsession. Maybe these days they will get people to remove my shirt and I walk bare chest. Because I don't see anything. But they can still process it. Me, I'll live here. There is nothing being a whip. There is nothing in being a whip. Your job under the Administration of Parliament Act is to remind members to attend the Parliament, is to designate MPs, which happens once a year. That is the job of a whip. So is that something to die for? That my job is to remind MPs to attend the Parliament or to designate them to committees? Because even if you have no party, you will be designated anyway.
Are there fringe benefits that come with that position?
Of parties are given an allowance, the same allowance that is given to a shadow minister. The Honorable Nsibam is a shadow minister. They are not going to increase him even by 1 shilling because we are considered as shadow ministers. And I have told the people, if it is the allowance that is important, you think if I went to ask Mpuga to make me a minister in his office, that I am a minister for leader of opposition, you mean he will refuse if the issue is the allowance? But anyway, Parliament has a duty, and I think I haven't seen the letter from the Speaker, but I've been told about it. Because if you allow individuals to run institutions, then they will cease being public institutions.
Honorable, Speaker.
But try to andika Parliament here. FDC President Amuriat yalonda Honorable Betty Awol okubeera whip. N'amutwala mu FDC National Executive Committee n'emugaana. Nega atwagala Ssemmujju. Nze salondibwa Amuriat oba Nandala. Nalondibwa FDC National Executive Committee. Baye MPs bonna bagituulako. Naye mbadde nyanyi okwewala obuntu obutono bufuula ensonga enkulu. Tulina Museveni ne mutabani we batutawaanya. Kakati abantu b'ekire bawulira batya nti nyombera kubeera wiipu w'ekibiina. Bw'omanyi nti ne Asmani ali omu naye wiipu w'ekibiina kye. Ne owa PPP naye wiipu. So obwa wiipu si mulimu munene nnyo ogulina okusuza abantu nga beebase. In fact nze singa bankute bulungi n'aleguba wadde nga tebawandikidde na sipiika. Kubanga siraba omulimu gwa wiipu mu teeka eriyitibwa Administration of Parliament Act kukubiriza ababaka kujja kubeera mu Parliament na kubateeka ku komiti. Kati gwe eri olaba nga nze Ssemmujju nyina okulwanira ekyo nti omulimu gwange kujjukiza ababaka nti mujje mubeere mu Parliament nga kyenwanira ekyo.
Baguliko ebitaafutaafu bye mutatugamba.
Whip tiwawulira wano nga nnyumba we n'alemba muwa n'essente n'ez'okugaba. Ba whip abasigadde including chief opposition whip million 2 ze bakuwa ze bawa ne shadow minister. Honorable Nsibambi shadow minister zaafuna era tagenda kweyongerako yadde 10. Maybe simanyi obo nze n'abantu abamanyi nti ndi whip ndooza bategedde bangobye abasinga bali tebamanyi nti ndi na whip.
Well, as a member of FDC and who has been there for some time, but also as a member of Parliament who knows the rules of procedure, I know that a whip of a party in opposition is chosen by the party. Now, the party means the party organs of the party. Doesn't mean a secretary general or a president. Now, such a position or decision or resolution can only be reached at in a national executive committee, in a national council, or a delegates conference. They are the only three bodies that have mandate to approve. I have been a commissioner before, recommended by Parliament. I was approved by NEC on the 3rd of August 2018. And so what the Honorable Nandala did was to write to the Speaker, informing the Speaker about the decision that was taken by NEC at the sitting of the 181st sitting of NEC. And that's how even Honorable Nandala was recommended as a leader of opposition. Actually, for Honorable Nandala, at that time, Dr. Besigye had proposed the Honorable Cecilia Ogwar. But NEC sat and said, we don't want Cecilia Ogwar, we need Nandala Mafabi. And so Nandala Mafabi was recommended by National Executive Committee. Now, what he was attempting to do was to take over the mandate of NEC. And so he takes decisions as an individual. We are not against Honorable Ssemmujju. We are only saying that we should not allow the parties of, the party organs to be taken over by individuals. Then they can misuse, they can easily misuse those offices. So, we are saying the Secretary General should bring the proposal to the National Executive Committee. The National Executive Committee will process it and then take a decision. And once a decision has been taken, he can communicate that decision to Parliament. The mandate, the role of the Secretary General is to communicate the decision of a party organ, not to decide.
Okay. And
so I am
what decision has Parliament now taken over the Speaker?
Well, I am happy that the Speaker has reminded the Honorable Nandala that please, you need to go back to your party, take a decision as a party, quote that decision, and the party organ, and the organs are three. It is the National Council, National Executive Committee, and the Delegates Conference. The Working Committee only processes work for NEC. The Working Committee has no role to decide. It is just like Cabinet. Cabinet proposes and Parliament approves. So we don't want a situation whereby you say we are forum for democratic change, but Parliament, but your Cabinet is performing the mandate of Parliament. That would be very dangerous. So we don't want to set a precedent that we in the FDC, our Cabinet is doing work for Parliament. So in FDC, Parliament is NEC. Working Committee is a Cabinet. So they process, come up with proposals to NEC, and then NEC takes a decision. So we are waiting for NEC to sit, process the proposal of Honorable Yusuf Nsibambi, take a decision, and then that decision can be communicated by the Secretary General to Parliament. So the role of the Secretary General is to communicate the position of the party organs. It is illegal, it is ultra-vires, it goes against even our party constitution, because Article 30 says that once a seat falls vacant, it will be filled in the same way it had been filled in the first place. So if it was filled by NEC, then it cannot now be, you cannot now replace somebody by the decision of a Secretary General or a Working Committee. Working Committee can only propose to National Executive Committee. No, we are not fighting a member. We are just saying we don't want to set a precedent where Cabinet takes over the mandate of Parliament. We don't want to set that. That means tomorrow, any party, its Secretary General can just write to the Speaker and say, we no longer want so and so as rope. We no longer want so and so as chairperson of a committee. We no longer want so and so. Just a Secretary General, in his pleasure, at some hotel or on the road, he can easily write. We don't want that precedent. Even in government, we don't want a precedent whereby Cabinet takes over the mandate of Parliament. Of course, clearly, now that his communication is not informed by NEC, that means he was just annoyed, he was angry that, the Honorable Ssemmujju had made certain statements or was interested in contesting for Secretary General. So we don't want somebody to use his office to suspend, dismiss, just because somebody is interested in your office. So the decision of Nandala was out of anger. That you see, Ssemmujju wants to take my position.
Okay.
That is not what we should do as leaders.
Honorable Ssemmujju Nganda.
Fenga ababaka. Murinya ly'ababaka abalala kubanga mwena tumusobola kubeera ku parliament olunaku lumu. Naye ababaka mwenda baali ababaddewo jjo. Twawandiika tugamba speaker nti twarabye mu mawulire Secretary General mu parliament mu kifo ky'obwa whip ataddemu omuntu omulala. Ne tugamba naye eyo mandate ye. Etteeka lyaffe ligamba nti bwe muba muleeta omuntu mu parliament abe whip, organize za party zirina kutuula. Ate organize tulina 3 ezirina obuyinza: National Executive Committee, NEC, National Council ne Delegates Conference. Ezo zirina obuyinza zokka. Ne Honorable Nandala bwe twamulonda nga rope, erinnya eryasooka kujja mu FDC lyali lya Honorable Sisiri Ogwara. Naye NEC negamba nti ono tetemwagala, twagala Honorable Nandala. Ekyo kyokka kiraga nti NEC yeyina obuyinza. Nange bwe nalondebwa nga commissioner, NEC yatuula nga 3 mu August 2018 negamba nti kati Sisiria aveeyo mu bwa commissioner mwirushya agende mu parliament. N'olwekyo tetwagala ngu tubeere n'embeera nti omuntu mu kibiina abeera n'obuyinza bw'okugamba nti kubanga munyiivu, kubanga waliwo amukoze bubi, agambe nti kati gwe va mu position nteekemu omuntu omulala. N'olwekyo ffe ng'abantu nsibambi mukwano gwaffe, naye tugamba nti twagala wabeerewo embeera etwala buyinza bwa ogani n'ebuteeka mu muntu, oba cabinet n'etwala buyinza bwa parliament nti kati cabinet etandise kukola approval. N'olwekyo working committee yaffe eri nga cabinet bw'eba erina proposals ezitwale mu NEC, NEC etunule ku nsonga za Nsibambi ne Ssemmujju, bwe tukanye tuleete erinnya mu parliament, speaker alisome mu parliament, tubeere ne gundi ne whip omulala. Naye ekirala nti constitution yaffe article 3 egamba nti omuntu bw'ava mu ntebe bw'oba oleetayo omulala olina kulaba mu procedure ng'ewayitamu okuleeta oli katana ava mu ntebe. N'olwekyo Ssemmujju NEC yamusindika wano, kitegeeza nti NEC yeba ino obuyinza bw'okumujja mu parliament, ate NEC yeyina buyinza bw'okuleeta omuntu omulala abeere whip wa FDC mu parliament. N'olwekyo tulinda olukiiko lwa NEC tutunule ensonga zino, naye tetwagala obuyinza bwa NEC butwalwa omuntu omu ate ng'akola out of anger nti kubanga munyiivu akolese obuyinza bwa NEC. Ekyo kiba kimenya amateeka gaffe.
Nsooka ddala amateeka nagasoma, ate nesiba nti nze omu ku baasemba nengakolamu emyaka 25 nengasomesa emyaka egisukka mu 25. Kati siyinza kukkiriza kifo nga simanyi nti kyalondebwa mu mateeka. Nenondebwa okuba omusomesa asinze emirundi 3 egy'omudiringano. Nensomesa abasomesa bonna okutuuka ku ddaala bali mu Court of Appeal. Mu gurupu yaffe abayizi 45, 17 balamuzi ba kooti enkulu, 2 balamuzi ba Supreme Court, ate nga saasemba nga ndi nabo. So ekintu kye njogerako nkimanyi, nze kye mbadde nsaba baganda bange abo abansangayo ne mu kibiina nga nze nakitandika, abasinga obungi ne bajja kufuna mirimu, baleme kwonoona kibiina kyaffe, bakkirize embeera nga bweri, badde najja nankumbi balwanire munda. Kino ekiriwo olwaleero kigenda kuggwa. Ekiriko bawandiise ebbaluwa ku bakulembeze ababaka ba parliament 38 bataano be basayinize petition eri wa speaker, abasatu basayinize oluvannyuma kitegeeza 8 be batakkiriza, abalala bonna bali ku sayidi yange. Bukya tulondebwa wano Bwakaba Parliament twakatula omulundi gumu ng'abaakabondo ka FDC, ate ng'ekitutuuza kuwakanya Patrick Amuriat ne Nandala baveewo. Eyo si yaba yenkola. Twandibadde nti buyitambule, twagala genda mu bintu bitakoleddwa bulungi n'ebikoleddwa bulungi. Nze kye njagala okugumya bannayuganda nti tikina mutawaana bo bano okuwaaba bawaabye naye tebigenda kuyitamu.
Okyakkiriza nti FDC
ekyo saagala kiyingiramu kubanga ate mba ngenze personal, nze si kyekyantwala mu FDC. Ne mugenda kulaba obukulembeze obw'enjawulo era sikayanira kafo kano. Ekyo sikayanira kafo kano. Ngeri kye nagamba ab'embawokota sajja kufuna mulimu. Nali musomesa Makerere nga ndi happy. Sajja kufuna ki? Naye twagala banaye kutereeza ensi. Abantu abakola obubadi ne bakola obubadi ne mugati mulina ababaka kizibu nnyo naddala wano mu Buganda. Tunulira saagala kuyingira mu ebyo kubanga bannange bajja kunyiiga. Naye twagala banaye tulageebwa enjawulo. Era nze kyekinwanyisa, sirwanyisa kafo ka whip. Nkyagala ng'ekifo ekyobuvunaanyizibwa nsobole okufuna voice. Mpite bannange mbaga nti common position ku kino yeeruwa. Sikola bubadi. Ebyo byakyana kito. I didn't come here to joke. Naye njagala kubashwaringa amabaluwa gano agafulumye siyinza kukkiriza kifo nga sisobola kola ki nga si kyamateeka. Empapula zonna nzirina wali munnange mukwano gwange era mukama wange mu nsonga zino bwe yajja abaamulonda era ennonda ye yalondeddwa. Tewaliwo bino birala bibagamba kiki era tewali kijja kukyuka. Temukyeralike mukitunulire, just give it a few days. Tewali kigenda kukyuka. Saagala kuyingira mu kino kubanga nyingidde mu nsonga speaker zakola.
What do you have to say about it?
At Makerere University to do with corporate governance for close to 17 to 20 years. I've also practiced in it. I was a bank secretary for 17 companies at the age of 24. So really whatever I'm talking about, I know there's no way I could have accepted this appointment unless it complied with the law. The working committee that appointed Honorable Ssemmujju, I have minutes, it's the same working committee which appointed me. And the constitution is very clear of FDC. The Political Organizations Act is clear. You have to abide by the code or the constitution of the party. The cabinet of our party is the working committee. It's the one which appoints. And the Secretary General has the mandate to write to the Speaker. You cannot supply minutes because those are internal details. It can only be supplied if there's a controversy. And I think they have been supplied. Just within a few days, I'm sure this is going to be rectified. I'm only concerned about our colleagues in Parliament and politicians. They look at politics as an income-generating cow or project. I think we should be here to focus on common positions. Ever since we came here, we've only had one meeting to do with the impeachment of Honorable Nandala and our party president. So I believe we really have a lot to address. We should not be seen to be fighting. Actually, our organ as parliamentary caucus in the FDC wrangles has been neutral. I'm just unhappy that people are dragging Parliament into the conflict between Katonga and Najja Nankumi. We should go there as arbitrators to reconcile and harmonize the two positions. Because the working committee, which is the cabinet, is the one which appoints. It's the one actually which appointed Ssemmujju. Yes, and that is...
Ssemmujju is saying that you were appointed by the Secretary General as opposed to the National Council.
That will be proved because I have copies. If you give me a minute, I left in my pigeonhole minutes appointing me. Yeah, because we want to it's not about Kariba. I have children. I'm about to get grandkids. I don't want my grandkids to be left in the hands of self-seekers and people who are just giving postures as if they are innocent. We have a very big problem with the leadership. There's a leadership crisis. I didn't come into this to make money, no. But I can't leave my daughters, my beloved daughters, in the hands of self-seekers, people who are self-centered, liars. You see, you know what's happening in politics? People posturing as if they are angels. They are not. They are self-seekers. They are seeking for jobs. We started FDC with our resources. The only money I've ever gotten from FDC is 80,000 when they're paying for my hotel accommodation in Masaka Tropicale, 2016 election. We have put billions in this. Me. Those people came for jobs. So I can't leave my party, which I started, in the hands of self-seekers. We are going to clean it, don't worry.